What do you want to see happen in 2023?
Peace in Europe. And no fight like Ukraine and those Ukraine and between Russia, because it's affect everybody, like so oil prices and everything.
Yeah, I think same thing. I think it's a very delicate situation there, and it impacts all of us.
My focus is on assisting young entrepreneurs. I think that there's a lot of really smart people out there in Canada, a lot of young entrepreneurs just coming out of university with intellectual property that can help solve a lot of the problems that we're going through right now, not just taking into account the healthcare crises, but a lot of healthcare crises. And I think the barrier to entry to a lot of these grant programs for these not-for-profit organizations and startups and tech companies needs to have a little bit of growth, not just within Canada, in Ottawa, but in Canada as a whole.
I'd like to see more emphasis and investment put on environmental changes, like going more green, reducing emissions. I think that, future generations are going to have it tough if we don't put a thumb on that right now.
Helping the homeless. There's a lot of people like on the street particularly. So like helping people around, just making it easier for everyone.
I'd like to see the war in the Ukraine over and done with and settled amicably somehow so there can be peace. And I would like to see tax reform in Canada. I would like to see much greater stability in the democratic processes in South America right now. Brazil in specific terms. Yeah.
Asking me, and I'm an Ukrainian, so I hope that the war will end up that year. Yeah, that's for sure. That's my hope. And what else? I hope that we will get rid of this coronavirus crisis. Let's call it crisis. Yeah. So the two major things I believe will happen in this year. So.
I think those are both great things to wish for this year. I think it would just, it would be nice to continue moving towards a more normal life after all that's been going on.
I have most of my family lives in the West, and I know that there really is a feeling that Canada isn't what it used to be. It's not united. So I'd like to see that a real effort be made on a more unity in Canada.
Oh my God. Good health and no COVID for everyone, first of all.
What would I like to see happen? I would like to see us have a more equitable society in which everybody shares and have a better life.
Government tames inflation, and groceries and everything becomes a little bit more affordable. That's probably my biggest thing.
Better environmental plan, like to reduce greenhouse gases and better things for the environment.
I'd like to see increased government action concerning climate change and increased government efforts in terms of reconciliation with Indigenous peoples and First Nations communities.
I'd like to see the housing, something done with it. And there's people on the street that, maybe you can't help, but there is those that you can help, sort of thing. Yeah.
A combination of the politicians actually sort of dedicating themselves through party lines for doing the right thing, but people also understanding that government individually is not going to fix their lives for them, that they too have to play a part in it. So basically like a better role everyone can play within that context.
I'd just like to see people be more friendly to each other and politicians working together to get things done.
Affordable housing. We've actually moved here from Ontario, so that was the main reason that we came down here. So affordable housing everywhere would be awesome. Probably bring a lot more people to Canada, and honestly, just to get us out of like our parents' homes. So I would say affordable housing is the number one thing that should be brought to Canada.
Cross-province fishing licenses. I think it sucks that you have to apply every time with a new province. It's a lot of money.
Obviously, inflation sorted out. I would like to see, though, proportional elections. I think that would end some of the deadlock we have. where it's bipartisan too far.
I'd like to see better representation of diversity of opinion, both on a political level and also for public discourse. It's the only way that you can unify people when they're a little bit disaffected, disenfranchised, feel they're not being heard. When people aren't heard, they'll find a way to make themselves heard. And I think that there's only one way to address that polarization, right? And that's through discourse, which means asking people why they think something rather than telling them why they're wrong.